Well, greetings, my friends. Our reading today in 2 Kings chapters 9 and 10, we find God raising up a man named Jehu to bring judgment upon the house of Ahab. And he fulfilled the will of God by destroying the house of Ahab and also Jezebel and all of the Baal worship. He did a great thing in cleaning house, so to speak, and fulfilling the will of God. But there was a problem, and I read this in chapter number 10, verse 29. But Jehu did not turn aside from the sins of Jeroboam, the sons of Nebat. And then over in verse 31, same chapter, but Jehu was not careful to walk in the law of the Lord, the God of Israel, with all of his heart. Now, my friends, we see he, on one hand, fulfilled the will of God, fulfilled the purpose of God, but he wasn't careful in walking in the laws of the Lord. In fact, he followed really the same path that his predecessors had followed. Now, it just doesn't make sense. What was he thinking about? Why in the world? He saw that God was judging them for their sins and judging them for their unfaithfulness, and God was using him, and yet he turned around and did the same thing. Well, it's unfortunate, but so often that seems to be the same thing happening to many people today. They see what pleases God and what displeases God, and how God has used them, even in ministry. I've seen people in ministry that have fulfilled the will of God, doing the will of God, and yet they're turning their back on God in another sense. They're not following fully the whole purpose of God in their life. They're not following the commandments of the Lord. My friends, I want to say you can't follow God partially and still fulfill his will, or still fulfill and be pleased or have his pleasure in your life. You've got to follow him with a whole heart. Notice what it said. It said that he did not, in verse 31, he did not follow the Lord with his whole heart. We must give the Lord our whole heart. Follow him completely. Not just sit back and be satisfied. Well, God used me in this, or God used me in that. We've got to follow him continually, daily, with a complete and whole heart for him. And so, friends, I just challenge you, let's be careful. Let's not live a careless life. Let's be careful in our walk with the Lord. Well, God bless you. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.